Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Incognito Islamic Productions. Christians often use a hadith to malign Islam that women are not given equal rights and are condemned to remain in the hellfire. While they lie, they try to make some issue out of the following hadith. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet ﷺ said, I was shown the hellfire and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful. It was asked, do they disbelieve in Allah or are they ungrateful to Allah? He ﷺ replied, they are ungrateful to their husbands and are ungrateful for the favors and the good charitable deeds done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent to one of them and then she sees something in you not of her liking, she will say, I have never received any good from you. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 28. Context of the hadith. The very first thing that is a must to be kept in mind when going through the Islamic sources is that you cannot pick up a verse or a hadith and take it in isolation from the rest of Islamic rubric and run to races with it. This is criminal. Indeed, one has to consider all the various ahadith pertaining to an issue one way or the other, consider the context of each of them, and then draw some conclusion. Unfortunately, most of the Christian readers of the Quran and hadith fail on this account. Now clearly we see that at the time this was said, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not actually dwelling on the point if men or women will form the majority in hell and paradise. He was only asking women to mend their ways and was pointing to a common problem in the attitude of the woman. This was his duty being an-nadhir, the warner. An important point to note is that they do not go to hell for being women. The hadith does not say that they go to hell for being women, it actually points out to a wrong behavior on women's part. The real misunderstanding comes with the notion that women outnumber men in hell because of their womanhood. This is indeed wrong. There is nothing like that in the hadith, not even in the least. Secondly, most probably either men or women will be more in the hell. It's very difficult that they number exactly the same. Whoever will do more wrong deeds will be punished for that. It's about deeds, not gender, and that's where people take a wrong turn and are led astray. Women will outnumber men in paradise. In fact, there's another hadith which tells us that there will be more women in the paradise than the men. It is recorded in Sahih Muslim. Muhammad reported that some persons stated with a sense of pride and some discussed whether there would be more men in paradise or more women. It was upon this that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that Abu al-Qasim, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, said, the members of the first group to get into paradise would have their faces as bright as full moon during the night, and the next to this group would have their faces as bright as the shining stars in the sky. And every person would have two wives, and the marrow of their shanks would glimmer beneath the flesh, and there would be none without a wife in paradise. Muslim, Hadith 5062. The context of Abu Hurairah narrating this hadith clearly shows that he meant to convey that according to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, women will outnumber men in paradise. Ibn Kathir, commenting on this hadith, said, the meaning hereby is, these two are from the daughters of Adam, women of this world, and with them are wide-eyed maidens as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes. Sifah al-Jannah, page number 132. The same is mentioned by Hafiz Ziyauddin al-Iraqi in his Tarah al-Tathrib fi Sharh al-Taqrib. Hafiz al-Aini has also mentioned that it refers to the women of this world. See Umdatul Qari'. Ibn Hajar, while discussing the issue, says, Abu Hurairah used this hadith as a proof to maintain that women will outnumber men in Jannah. And this much is clear. Fathul Bari. A hadith about majority in hell do not tell the present or permanent state. Lest one would say there is some contradiction in both the hadith, let's clarify another thing about the hadith that say women were in majority in the hell. There are ahadith that contain the words, I was shown the hellfire, and we know from other ahadith that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was shown the hellfire on his journey during the miraculous night of ascension. So we can easily conclude that ahadith indicating women being in majority in hell refer to the time when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ actually saw it, and they do not mention if same is the case even now. Fathul Bari. An apparently contradicting narration. There is a narration that seemingly contradicts the above. Imran bin Husayn radiallahu anhu reported, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Amongst the inmates of paradise, the women would form a minority. Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Riqat. But this narration does not mean women will always form the majority in the hell. Zainuddin Muhammad al-Manawi explained this hadith saying, means initially, before the sinful among them coming out of hellfire, and there is no evidence in this report that women of the world are fewer than men in the paradise. Fath al-Qadir, Sharh Jami' al-Saghir. Hafiz ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari and Hafiz al-Aini in Umdah al-Qari have explained it the same way. Some statistical facts. Also, we ought to keep in mind that women today outnumber men. Even if more males are born, their mortality rate is higher than female babies, and we learn in Hadith that near the end of time, women will outnumber men greatly. So if equal ratio of men and women goes to hell and the paradise, even then it is quite possible that women remain in majority in both. Women can complain against husbands for genuine reasons. Let me make clear another point, that the hadith does not ask women to bear with her husband even when he is wrong and refrain from complaining. No, this is not the case, as we know that there is a complete surah, chapter in the Quran, Surah Mujadilah, which is about a woman who came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to complain against her husband, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say that she was going to hell for complaining, and in fact he listened to her. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also revealed verses addressing the issue and condemning the unacceptable behavior of the husband. Conclusion. Thus the conclusion is that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated only what he had seen during his miraculous journey, which is not bound to remain the same forever, and that women will be fewer in paradise only initially, and eventually women will form the majority in the paradise as more and more of the people are taken out of hell and admitted into paradise. Other traditions plainly establish that in paradise women will be much larger in number compared to men, and the particular tradition that Christians dwell upon only asks women not to complain and be ungrateful to their husbands without reason. Indeed, Allah knows the best. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.